So today we're going to talk about how to double your money in your business by just changing your subject line. So I'm going to tell you a quick little story. I got paid to go out to Las Vegas a few years ago to consult for a pharmaceutical company who wanted to basically double their money on their revenue from the email marketing. So I asked them, well, how much are you making right now? And what they said was, we're making about $100,000 a month in our email marketing. Now, obviously that's a lot more than many people watching this video are making on their email marketing, but stick with me because these stats matter. So they flew me out. I go out there and they're expecting me to be out there for 3 days and they think they need all these different changes. So I sit down at the computer, I log into their email system and I look at everything. Within about 10 minutes tops, I go, oh, well, here you go, here's your problem. And I said, what's that? And I said, your subject lines suck. And they said, well, what does that mean? I said, what it means is I'm gonna be here for 3 days having fun. I'm about to fix your problem and double your revenue in the next 10 minutes. So basically what I did was I went through all their subject lines and I changed them to certain systems and ideas psychologically, persuasively, marketing-wise that I know to be true. And the idea was that as long as I double the open rate of their emails, and as long as everything else stays the same, right? So they have certain ad copy sitting in their emails, they had a certain percentage of people who clicked through, they had a certain percentage of people who bought after the fact, and so on and so forth. So realistically, the choke point of their entire system was just these subject lines. So what I did was I went and I changed these subject lines, and lo and behold, 30 days later, they call me and they go, holy crap, they'd actually more than doubled their revenue, okay? So how do you do that? All right, so as a tech company, and that's who we go after. Honestly, this is gonna work for all companies. If you're watching and you're not part of a tech company, that's okay. But tech companies need a lot of help in email marketing because it's not something that they're typically great at. So I'm gonna give you 3 great examples of how to change just your email subject lines to help double, if not triple necessarily, the open rate. And if you can, whatever you do to the open rate and everything else stays the same, that's what should happen to your revenue, right? So if you're an IT services company, for example, and you're trying to get more leads to call you so you can get more services that you send out or that you fulfill for people, great. If you're a SaaS company and you're trying to get more people to buy your product, even better, okay? So here are the 3 easy ways to double or triple your open rates and your revenue on your subject lines, okay? Number 1, start with a question, okay? The human brain can't not answer a question. When it's asked a question, it has to answer it. So people are really more inclined to click on an email, I should say, when there's a question in it. So for example, you might say, have you ever been this? Or have you ever done that? Or has this ever been a problem for you? And you can insert, of course, whatever is relevant to your company in that. But basically make it a question. Now, obviously, you don't want to do what's called a bait line. A bait line is when you put a question or a subject line in there, and then the body of the email has nothing to do with it. So obviously, if you're going to just change one thing, read the body of the email first, see what kind of question you can tie into that, and make that your subject line. Okay, so questions are number 1. Number 2 is a cliffhanger, okay? So ... right? So for example, one day when I was walking home from work, ... okay? Cliffhangers are a big deal. We see this in movies all the time. We see this in previews for things, commercials, right? Basically, anytime somebody wants you to watch the rest or read more, they like to leave you hanging just at that part that looks good, okay? So a great thing to do on the ... is something like 3 easy steps to triple your results, ... right? It forces people to understand that if they click and open, there's more to that message, right? So the great thing to do with cliffhangers is to put some sort of, 3 easy steps or 5 ways to, and then insert the thing. So for example, if you're a SaaS company and you have a software that does marketing automation, you might say the 5 best ways to automate your marketing, ... okay? That's another great one to do for that. And the 3rd step, really good one as well, is the how-to, right? So for example, if you are a software or data recovery company, you can put in your subject line, how to recover your data in an emergency. That's pretty powerful, right? Anyone reading that is probably going to want to open that and find out, oh my gosh, how do I recover all my data if there's an emergency, right? Or if there's a disaster, things like that. We have a client that specifically does that. So some of the things that we're developing for them are going to have subject lines like that. Okay, so remember, again, your subject lines are key. So all you have to do is take a look at your subject lines, and if you can double the open rates by using one of the 3 tips that I just gave you today, then you should actually double the revenue or the output of everything else that's happening. You don't even have to change your content, you don't have to change your links or any of that. In fact, I recommend that you don't, because you need to see exactly what kind of difference the subject lines made, right? So the first tip, again, as a reminder, was cliffhangers. All right, so make sure that you have a ... That's one option, okay? Give them about half the information, leave them wanting more. Make sure that they want to click to open to find out the rest of that message. All right, a second option, again, questions. The brain has to answer questions. Put a question in there. They'll open it to find out what the answer is. And the last one is the how-to. Anytime that they think that they're gonna open your email and they're gonna find out a solution to a problem they have, you're gonna increase your open rates. So I hope that this was really helpful for you. If you have any questions, obviously you can message me, you can email us. I'm sure I put my contact information somewhere around here that you're watching the video. And that's all. I'll be back with more probably next week. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.